Do you think someone who wants to be a man of God can successfully accomplish that if he doesn't have mentors or spiritual leaders in his life?
I think so. It's again the people who I look up to surround or base their lives off of the Bible, and obviously they have influences of people who influence them, but it's also the people who I see and who I choose to mentor me and who I choose to look at them as an example. They're always the ones who follow the Word of God and heed the Word of God and study the Word of God. So if you didn't have anybody, you could do it. You could, if you study the Word enough and look into it, because Paul says, imitate me as I imitate Christ. So we can imitate Paul. We won't know him on a personal level, and just because it's Paul and he's not alive, but we can still know Jesus on a personal level. So obviously we can become a man of God out of the Word of God because the people who we look up to get it from there.
Yeah. So I guess a better way of phrasing it is, okay, it's possible to become a man of God without having godly mentors in your life. But is that the best situation?
Not at all.
Not at all.
To not have mentors?
Yeah.
I don't think it's
so.
a good idea.
I understand, if you're in a family context, let's say you became the first believer, right? Your parents aren't believers, and man, you're figuring this out on your own, and hopefully you were at a church or something, and there's people in the church that can be your mentors. But I would say, and I would caution those who want to grow in their walk with the Lord, become men of God, and they're not actively seeking a mentor role, then you're really short-circuiting your opportunity to grow. Because I think there's a tendency, and I'm going to make just a kind of a generalization here. I try not to make those, but the stereotype, at least for men of God or men in general, is I don't need anybody. I can do it. I've got to figure it out. I'm a go-getter. I'm independent. I'm not dependent on anybody, right? I'm sufficient. And how that's so counter-Bible, right? And the Bible talks, and there's plenty of examples of everybody, at least in the book of Acts, Paul was traveling with somebody, right? Timothy had Paul had Silas or Barnabas, and whether they were mentoring each other or more just sharpening each other, regardless, they had those people in their lives. So to those who maybe are prideful, if I'm just being honest, and think, I don't need somebody to look up to, right? I would really check yourself where you wreck yourself in a sense. And I get it. Maybe some of us are more introverted. And I think it's kind of a funny stereotype where, some people say that Jesus' biggest miracle is that he had 12 good friends as a middle-aged man, right? And it's kind of funny, actually, because, as even I get older, right? I'm approaching 30, right? And I'm an introvert by nature. I'm I don't need people, right? I enjoy my own company. I enjoy the Lord and things, and that's it. So maybe this is just me kind of confessing myself. But yeah, that common thread of mentorship, and then even what you said, Logan, about relationships. And we've talked about this on Thrive and Dive before, that the people you surround yourself with is going to be impact your life, right? You are a combination of the 5 closest people. So when it comes to being a man of God, one of the easiest ways to become a man of God is to surround yourself with what? Man of God, right? Yeah. So that's important. Any thoughts on all that before I switch gears?
Well,
I just want to say one thing real quick. I think it's interesting. If you think about just without not being a man of God in a sense, but if you are getting a job, and if you're getting a job and you're trying to go into a certain career, you have to go to school or you have to do an internship or something to learn how to do it. So it's the same thing with becoming a man of God. If you want to become something, if you want to learn how to do something, you're going to need somebody to show you how to do it or teach you how to do it. And if you try to do it on your own, you might be able to do it, but one, you won't have experience. You won't have any actual, life experience from others to help you in certain things. You only know things. You only be able to do so much because these people who can teach you have gone through certain things and are able to show you that stuff that's not written in the book or stuff that you can't learn on your own. If you go to school to become a plumber, Logan's a plumber. and you just read all the books and did all the things and you just went in to start working, you probably wouldn't do so well. You had to have somebody, here's how you do it. Let me show you a trick that I learned on my 30 years of working, So I think it's kind of just, we should apply it in our spiritual life too, not just our physical life of learning so that from others so that we can grow.
It's a good illustration. I like how you coupled that together.